Donald Trump just freaked out on a reporter in the White House after they confronted him with a question that Trump did not want to answer. Over the past few weeks, Trump has been acting more and more unhinged to a point to where today it almost feels like he's cracking under the pressure from his failed administration. And after a terrible start to this week, it's no wonder that he's starting to lose it. The week literally just started, and just about everything possible is going wrong for Donald Trump. So stick around to see the start of his week go up in flames and his instant blow up because of it. And as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. We are just one day into this week, and Donald Trump is already melting down in the White House. In yet another cabinet meeting after literally just hosting one, Donald Trump spent the whole day complaining and yelling, all while looking like a radioactive Cheeto.
Mr. Midterms, and I just have a quick question. There's at least 20 House Republicans who have either said they're going to retire or not run again. Do you have any
Democrats
concerns
also.
about the
And Democrats.
Right.
Also.
Do you have any?
Well, why don't you mention them? How many Democrats are going to retire? How many Democrats?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
But why don't you tell me the number of Democrats too? You tell me about.
Are you concerned about the narrow margins? And
no, I'm not concerned. I think we're going to do well.
Among them, and
we will have the greatest economy.
Blakeman, who you know as well, is considering running for governor.
We're going to have the greatest economy in history. How many Democrats are retiring? How come you only know the Republicans but not the Democrats?
Because I came prepared to ask you a question about.
No, you're unprepared because you should know the Democrats. You're totally unprepared. Go ahead.
Well, can I ask a quick follow-up about?
Who are you with?
I'm with New York Newsday, and I also have a quick follow-up.
Donald Trump hosted a cabinet meeting with no real agenda and then spent the whole day upset with people asking him questions. But here's the thing, he literally didn't have to be there. Cabinet meetings are supposed to be spaced out and are usually called to discuss important events in the administration. And the fact that Trump just keeps having these pointless meetings, combined with him freaking out on reporters more and more, is leading some people to think that the pressure of failure is starting to get to Donald Trump. He literally goes on to have a complete meltdown on a reporter today, but first, let's take a look at some of those major failures that Trump is already facing despite the week just starting. For starters, both Democrats and Republicans are now furious at Trump for pardoning the former president of Honduras last week. This man was convicted of smuggling cocaine into the US for drug trafficking rings, and Donald Trump just let him off the hook for literally no reason, leading to Republican Senator Thom Tillis to call out Trump on live TV.
Well, I want to know who is responsible for making the pardon recommendations, what they're thinking. Again, the president is not going to review the pardon applications and go through all the details. He's going to take a recommendation from his staff. Many of the things that I think are going on in this administration that I have a problem with are not with the president. They're the advice that the president's being given. How on earth can you threaten a potential land war against a thug and a narco-terrorist who plays like he's the president of Venezuela, and then go easy on someone whose investigation that led to an indictment started in the Trump administration? So
by his own former personal attorney.
These are the basics that concern me with the advice coming out of the pardons office.
Senator Tillis says that he thinks that Donald Trump has surrounded himself with a bunch of people who either don't know how to do their job or are abusing their connection to the president. And either way, this is a terrible criticism of Trump because both are very equally possible. And Senator Tillis is not alone here. As Trump's cabinet members continue to screw up on every single one of their jobs, Congress is starting to lose their patience with him. But beyond just open criticisms, Trump is now facing an open revolt from a red state. After months of pressure from the Trump administration, the Indiana House of Representatives managed to pass this incredibly gerrymandered congressional map, but Republicans in the state Senate are still fighting back against the Trump-sponsored bill, and the people of Indiana, a Republican supermajority state, are backing up the anti-Trump Republicans, with everyday Hoosiers occupying their state capital. After taking months to even respond to Trump's gerrymandering order, if Indiana Republicans manage to block this bill, then Trump's influence might be more than just damaged, it could be ruined. The fact that such a red state even has a movement against Trump is a sign that the height of his influence might be behind him. But there's one more, even bigger hit to Trump this week that has him deeply worried. In some new polling from this past week, Donald Trump's influence amongst young voters has not only tanked, but completely disintegrated. In the 2024 election, Donald Trump won over millions of young voters who were not old enough to participate in the last two elections. But now that these active voters are seeing just what a Trump presidency looks like, they have lost nearly all support for the president.
As you know, Donald Trump put in the best performance for a Republican presidential candidate among young voters since George W. Bush did back in the early 2000s. And you know, he started off his term, his net approval rating among voters under the age of 30 at plus 10 points. Hey, that's pretty gosh darn good. But you come over now, according to CBS News YouGov, this isn't falling into the water. This isn't going underseas. This is going into a deep, dark, black hole. Look at that, minus 46 points. That is a shift on the net approval of 56 points in the wrong direction since February. My goodness gracious, you know I love looking at these swings, looking how the electorate changes. You rarely ever see swings.
Donald Trump's administration has seen nothing but failures for the past 2 weeks. He's under more and more fire from Congress, states are questioning his political agenda, and he is even tanking in the polls in the groups where he was most proud of winning last November. And I didn't even mention his personal lawyer Alina Habba getting fired from the DOJ, China backing out of his trade deals, or the deadline for the Epstein files coming up very soon. Donald Trump is probably on his longest losing streak since getting into politics, and yet another hit just came today when Congress announced that they are continuing the investigations into Pete Hegseth and his potential war crimes, despite Trump telling Republicans to just forget about them. In the newest loss for Trump, Congress is now cutting the travel budget of Pete Hegseth and his leadership team until they release the video of the Navy launching a second drone strike on a boat in the Caribbean. Both Trump and Hegseth have promised and failed to release the videos, and so now Congress is trying to force their hand. And I gotta say, if Trump was trying to act like this wasn't upsetting him, he's been doing a terrible job, because when he was asked about this whole situation, he immediately tried dodging the question, and when he was asked to clarify what he meant, he just straight up attacks the reporter asking the questions.
Mr. President, you said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
You said that you would have no problem releasing the full bit. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth...
No, whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
He now says it's under review. Are you ordering the Secretary to release that full video?
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat, we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. They were trying to turn the boat back to where it could float. And we didn't want to see that because that boat was loaded up with drugs just like everything else. But every boat we shoot down, and I don't know if you know, we're 92 or 94% down in drugs coming in by the sea. And we're trying to find who are the 6%. Because I don't know, people aren't liking to drive boats right now loaded up with drugs. But every single, think of that, every single boat we shoot out, on average, we save 25,000 American lives. Do you feel okay about that, Court?
Keep us safe.
Okay, I know my man. What about you? Are you okay with that?
I'm totally fine with that. Are you committed to releasing the full video?
Didn't I just tell you that?
You said that it was
You're
up to Secretary
the most
Hegseth.
obnoxious reporter in the whole place. Let me just tell you, you are an obnoxious, actually a terrible reporter, and it's always the same thing with you. I told you, whatever Pete Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
Trump is losing patience with reporters almost every single day now, and it's definitely not the reporter's fault. Donald Trump is feeling the pressure from his disaster of a second term, and if you think that his constant attacks on reporters is not enough proof, later on Monday night, a hot mic recording of Trump was released where he starts yelling at his staff the second the same press conference ends. In this clip, you can hear Trump yelling about how his temporary appointments are expiring because he can't get Congress to support his political nominees anymore. This is basically an admission that Trump's administration is losing all of its influence.
Hey, Deb, you know I cannot appoint anybody. Huh? I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I've appointed, their time is expired. And then they're in the fall.
This is just incredible. Trump can't even wait for strangers to get out of the room before he starts yelling at his own staff. Donald Trump has spent the past year using his administration to attack Americans, our values, and our democracy, and while I'm certainly not happy that he's president, I can at least take comfort in the fact that we all get to watch his administration fall apart around him. Now, if you want to keep getting daily updates like these, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.